Welcome to our Spotlight interview series, bringing to you the best film industry professionals from around the world. I'm your host, Chetna. Today we have with us award-winning Filipino-Italian actor, director, and producer Ruben Maria Soriquez. Hello, Ruben. Welcome to 72 Dragons. We're delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And before we begin today's interview, let me tell you more about our guest. Ruben has worn several hats in cinema and television, ranging from scriptwriter, director, and actor to producer, editor, and cinematographer. He has directed several films and series, including Of Sinners and Saints, The Broken Crown, A Perfect Family, The Spider's Man, and The Silent Killer. Ruben has also acted in projects like Dolce Amore, Can't Help Falling in Love, The General's Daughter, The Rain in España, The Immortal Hunters, The Renegade, and The Mariana's Web. Ruben founded See-Through Pictures in 2013. Through this company, he has produced and distributed several film projects. Appointed Film Ambassador of the Philippines in 2017, Ruben is known for his efforts to bridge Italian and Philippine cinema. He also co-founded the European Philippine International Film Festival, which held its first edition in Florence in 2018. So let's begin today's interview with your early days in the film industry, Ruben. You have quite an interesting trajectory from studying HR and working as a musician to studying acting and filmmaking. So can you tell us what drew you to this line of work?
To be honest, it wasn't a strategic choice because I've never seen cinema like a conventional career for myself. So yes, I studied HR. I was into music, composing, playing. I also released a rock album in 1997. But then at a certain point, I was feeling that I wanted more. I wanted like a medium through which I could express myself more deeply. And what more than cinema can make you express more deeply? Because, of course, there's music, there's words, there's images, there are bodies. It's like a complete art. I felt that acting alone was not enough. I wanted to tell my own story. And that's what drew me into cinema. Tell story, real story, and also uncomfortable truth. Because I believe that in the end, cinema should be real, should make people grow. It should be necessary, not only decorative. So it's been a non-linear path, but I think it is what makes it more authentic.
I think there's a point in your career that I'm quite curious about. So you moved to the Philippines in 2013, where you founded your own production company called See-Through Pictures. So can you tell us what your thought process was like at this time?
My father is Filipino, while my mother is Italian. So in 2013, I needed to move to Philippines for family reasons. So back then, I had already directed and produced 2 feature films in Italy. So it was just a continuation of my journey to found my own production company because I also wanted to be independent. I didn't want, to wait for permission and approval of my concept to start working in the Philippines. So that's why I founded See-Through Pictures. And the Philippines gave me also a lot of energy because there's a rawness in this country, a passion here that I connected with very deeply.
Great, that's really interesting to hear about. So now let's talk about Of Sinners and Saints, one of your most highly lauded films, which has played at many film festivals around the world and won several prestigious awards. So Ruben, you've played many roles in this film, including writer, director, actor, producer, and editor. So if you could share your favorite moments from the process of creating this film?
All of my favorite moments were on the set, acting and directing and producing. And it was quite challenging because, when you act, you should be in character. When you direct, you should be out of character. So I was constantly moving in and out in just seconds. And it was really very challenging. But I enjoyed it so much because the feeling was like I was not making just a film, but I was living the film. Also, writing, of course, it's a deep process, but acting and directing something that I created was, another level of truth. It was very challenging, but very fulfilling.
So my next question is about another one of your movies, The Mariana's Web. So this is a sci-fi horror movie that you've played a prominent role in. Actually, this film, the storyline is very intriguing. It reminds me of Black Mirror. So can you share your experience working on this movie?
A very different experience working on the Mariana's Web. It's a sci-fi horror. Before I directed like documentaries, mafia films, drama, but was the first time for me to co-produce a sci-fi horror. I didn't direct it. Italian director Marco Calvise directed it, but also this film I co-wrote and co-produced. I believe that sci-fi and horror require a strong awareness as far as like atmosphere, rhythm, and tension are concerned. So everything has to be very precise, but still should feel real. What I found interesting, yes, it was the Black Mirror like quality. It's not just about fear, but also about ideas, about how technology and human nature collide. Yeah, I like to be involved in projects that carry a message. As I said before, not just decorative projects. And the Mariana's Web carries a strong message. We have always too much exposure to social media, to virtual reality. This film talks about the risks for your mental health, for your relationship, to be too much exposed to those technologies.
Great, that's really interesting to hear. My next question is about your film festival. So you started your own film festival, like I mentioned before, the European Philippine International Film Festival. What were the challenges that you faced while organizing this festival?
Since when I was a kid, I was traveling back and forth, and I wanted to find a way to live both in the Philippines and in Italy, and I found it through cinema. So it was a natural process then to think about showing more of Philippine cinemas in Italy and more of Italian cinema in the Philippines. That's why I created a film festival. Actually, it's very challenging to create a festival across two countries. It's very difficult, not only about funding, logistics, partnerships, but it's complex, of course, because there are two different cultures. You have only also to translate not only language but different mindset. And I also brought an Italian film festival to the Philippines. Of course, everyone knows the prestigious Venice Film Festival in Italy. Like, it's one of the three major film festivals with Berlin and Cannes. And in 2017 and 18, I was able to bring the Venice Film Festival in the Philippines, where we screened like the Italian official selections. Because back then I was a board member of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, and I was in charge of the cultural affair. So that's why in that period I worked a lot to bridge the two countries in cinemas.
Great. I think that's a really interesting initiative that you've taken. And it's good to hear from you as well. So far, we've spoken about your past projects. So let's talk about what's coming next. So you have quite some interesting projects lined up in the near future, from the Hollywood film The Last Resort to the Netflix series A Secret in Prague. So can you share what you're most excited about in your upcoming projects?
The Last Resort, it's a big Hollywood film, like $35 million budget. It has already been shot. So I think will be soon released worldwide. I'm so lucky I was part of the cast because I was able to to act along Daisy Ridley, which is the main star of the latest Star Wars franchise. And the director, Donald Petrie, a comedy director icon in the United States. If we think about Miss Congeniality, he directed Matthew McConaughey and Sandra Bullock there. So it was like a dream for me to be finally in a Hollywood movie. Of course, it's different from an independent production. Everything is bigger, everything is more organized. And I think after the film is shown, it will open, I'm sure, more opportunities for me. A Secret in Prague is a Philippine TV show. It's quite a big production because it will air for more than 20 weeks and also will be on Netflix. And it's like 100 episodes. It's a very big project. And my character is quite challenging because I play a Czech Italian billionaire, but who is also like a criminal boss. It's action, but there's also comedy, romance, a bit of drama. So my character is not the typical bad guy. So I'm ruthless, but I'm also a loving father, a loving husband. I have my funny moments. So it's a deep character. It's totally bad character. It has depth. Mainly, I'm an actor in this project, the main cast, but I also wore the hat of producer in Europe because I coordinated the shoot in Prague, in Czech Republic. And most probably in the second season, I will be coordinating again for the Philippine production to shoot in Europe again.
Great. I think both us and our audiences can't wait to see you on screens. So, before we conclude today's session, we have many film enthusiasts and budding filmmakers in our audience. So, is there anything you'd like to share with them?
Some advices I can give to starting filmmakers is to learn filmmaking from every angle. For instance, if you want to direct, also study acting because you will be able to direct actors much better because you'll understand their inner process. And if you want to be a writer, also you should try also to direct your first short films that you wrote, right? It will give you a better perspective and also visual, because you understand the camera movement, the framing, the blocking. I started in this way. I was writing my small and short films, and then producing them and directing them, and also acting in them. So that's how I started. And also, if you want to be a producer, just study a bit of acting and directing because it will give you a better, understanding of the creative process. Beyond the mere logistical and economical matters. I want to give you one last to give the audience one last advice. Don't wait to make your project. Don't wait for permission. Like if you feel like you really need to tell a story, you do it, even with a small budget. Because I started very small, with small budget, and then I ended up working in a Hollywood film. It's really possible. You have to take every opportunity you have in this industry. And then another thing, you should find your own voice, not just copy. Find your own voice, even if it is uncomfortable or is not immediately understood. Find your own voice, because in the end, I think the best cinema is about truth. So the more personal you are, I think the more universal your work can become.
That's a really good piece of advice. Thank you, Ruben. So that brings us to the end of today's session. So, Ruben, we're really excited to see you on screen soon with your latest projects. And thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us today. Yeah.
I have already four independent films that I produced. There are streaming in Indian platforms. I also encourage the new filmmakers to watch my works because are available there in India.
So I hope our audiences enjoyed today's session as well. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to our channel to hear more from individuals who are making a difference in global cinema. Thank you.